Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een, amma ba'd. So continuing with the stories of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam. Last week we covered the first chapter or first session about the early life of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. Today we'll be starting chapter 2 or second part of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. When Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam was around the age of 7, we know that his brothers, he had 10 older brothers. They were extremely jealous of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, their younger brother. And many reasons scholars give why they were jealous. One, possibly because Yusuf alayhi salam had seen a dream that 11 stars and the sun and moon are prostrating to me, and they realized that Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam will be a ruler or a big person, an honorable person later in the future, so they became jealous of him in that sense. Or because their father Yaqub alayhi salam would give a lot more love and attention to Yusuf alayhi salam compared to these brothers. So they got jealous of Yusuf alayhi salam, that why is our father being kind and showing more love to Yusuf alayhi salam than us? So finally, when they were, this was bothering them, this jealousy was always there, they wanted to get rid of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. And they came up with a planning, and some of them gave this opinion that we should just kill Yusuf alayhi salam. قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِّنْهُمْ as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, اُقْتُلُوا يُوسُفَ أَوْ اطْرَحُوهُ. Some suggested that we just kill Yusuf. These are the brothers. And some are suggesting أَوْ اطْرَحُوهُ أَرْضًا يَخْلُ لَكُمْ وَجْهُ أَبِيكُمْ وَتَكُونُوا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ قَوْمًا صَالِحِينَ. That let's just not kill him, but just throw him away in a far land, far away from our home. So he will not be able to get back home, and our father's attention and his love, his time, and his kindness will be only for us. And then there was another brother, the eldest brother, whose name was Yehuda. He gave this opinion, he gave this suggestion that, both of those don't sound too good. I have another opinion, and he said, my opinion is that there's a jungle or a forest, something nearby our area. Why don't we take him there and throw him in one of the wells over there? This will be a means of getting rid of Yusuf alayhi salam. He's thrown in the well, he will never be able to get back out, and we won't have to commit this sin of killing someone. We won't have to travel to a far place and take him away. This is just few distance away, a short distance away. We can just take him there, throw him in the well, and our purpose, our goal will be achieved. Yusuf alayhi salam will be away from our home, and our father's love and his attention will be for us. So they really loved this opinion, and they wanted to now fulfill this mission of theirs, of taking Yusuf alayhi salam there. But of course the hard part was, Yaqub alayhi salam would not separate Yusuf alayhi salam from him. Yaqub alayhi salam really loved Yusuf alayhi salam, and he would not accept that anyone take Yusuf alayhi salam away from him. So of course he, as the brothers, requested that to the father that, can we take Yusuf alayhi salam out? We'll just come back, we'll just have some fun, and we'll come back shortly. Their father, Yaqub alayhi salam, would always refuse, never would allow. After this happened many times, and they're not successful in taking Yusuf alayhi salam away, out of the home, away from the father, so that they can fulfill their mission. Finally, once they came up with a strong plan, and they said to themselves that today we'll have to convince our father that we need to take Yusuf alayhi salam. He's a kid, and he needs to have some fun. We need to take him out. We need to give him some of his own time, take him away from home, and let him enjoy himself outdoors. So they came to Yaqub alayhi salam, their father, and they said, مَا لَكَ لَا تَأْمَنَّ عَلَى يُوسُفَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَنَاصِحُونَ. O our father, why don't you trust us with Yusuf alayhi salam? Although we are his well-wishers, we are going to take care of him, we are his well-wishers. أرسله معنا غدا يرتع ويلعب وإنا له لحافظون. Send him with us tomorrow so that he can enjoy himself and he can play, and we will surely watch over him. We will keep him safe. Yaqub alayhi salam, of course, like always, he refused again. And this time he mentioned, or he gave 2 reasons why I cannot allow him to go with you. قال إني ليحزنني أن تذهبوا به. Number 1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning in the Quran, that Yaqub alayhi salam responded, he said, if you take him away from me, this will make me sad. It will make me sad if he is away from me. And number 2, وَأَخَافُ أَن يَأْكُلَهُ الذِّئْبُ وَأَنْتُمْ عَنْهُ غَافِلُونَ. And I fear that a wolf may attack and kill him while you are negligent of him. Yaqub alayhi salam, the Mufassirin mentioned that he was actually afraid of the wolves attacking because there were many incidents similar to this, the wolves attacking kids and small children in that area. So Yaqub alayhi salam did actually fear, he was sincerely afraid that this could have happened. And some scholars mention that Yaqub alayhi salam had seen a dream previously that 10 wolves are attacking Yusuf alayhi salam. And Yaqub alayhi salam knew that these 10 wolves are these brothers. So he feared that these brothers are going to plan to attack. So Yaqub alayhi salam refused. But these brothers would not give up. They kept on insisting. And insisting. And they said, قالوا لئن أكله الذئب ونحن عصبة إنا إذا لخاسرون. If a wolf would eat him up, would attack him and kill him, how can this be possible while we are a strong group of people? If this happens, إذا لخاسرون, we will be losers. This cannot happen. It's not possible a wolf can attack while we are present there. So finally they kept on insisting, they kept on arguing. Finally Yaqub alayhi salam allowed them to take Yusuf alayhi salam with 2 conditions. Number 1, Yaqub alayhi salam said, he promised all these brothers, 10 brothers that were taking him, especially the eldest one, Yehuda, he specially told him that I want you specially to take this promise. And what are these 2 promises? Number 1, that promise me that all of you, especially the eldest one, Yehuda, promise me that you will all take care of him. Make sure that nothing happens to him. Keep him safe. And number 2, make sure that you bring him back as soon as you can. Don't waste time, don't delay, bring him back as soon as you can. So of course these people, they agreed and they promised that, okay, we will do this, whatever you say, we're ready. And they convinced Yaqub alayhi salam, but of course in the heart Yaqub alayhi salam wasn't satisfied, but he had to give up in front of his children. And this is what happens, many times parents have to give up in front of their kids. So Yaqub alayhi salam, even though he feared, but he had to give up. And now, to convince their father, Yaqub, the brothers, to convince their father that we will take care of Yusuf alayhi salam, the Mufassirin mentioned that they would carry Yusuf alayhi salam on their shoulders, one after another. They would take turns, making sure that he does not even have to walk. They would look after him, keep on asking him, do you need anything? Everything. And they were looking after him very much, until Yaqub alayhi salam was able to see, and it was in his vision. Until they got to a distance away where Yaqub alayhi salam could not see anymore, then that torture began. The Mufassirin mentioned that as soon as the father was not able to see, they got to a distance. The brother that was carrying Yusuf alayhi salam threw him hard on the ground. The 7-year-old boy. And what happened now was, of course, Yusuf alayhi salam, he's already tortured, he's already in pain, he's probably injured by falling on the ground. And now these brothers are torturing him, bothering him, yelling at him that, keep up and walk faster. But Yusuf alayhi salam, as a young boy, wasn't able to keep up. So Yusuf alayhi salam, during the way, as they're walking, he kept on reminding the brothers that, remember that promise that my father made to you. And then he would specially talk to the eldest brother, Yehuda, and he would say, you make sure you remember that promise. You're forgetting. Remember that promise that my father made, that you have to take care of me, and you make sure that nothing happens. But of course, all of these brothers, they refused to even listen and to help. Mufassirin mentioned that the eldest brother, Yehuda, finally after a while, after Yusuf alayhi salam kept on begging and asking for help, he felt bad. And he requested the brothers that, I think we have done enough to Yusuf alayhi salam, I think we should change our plan and return him back to our father. Let's just take him back. But of course the other brothers, they had no kindness. So not just that they refused this opinion of this brother, they even warned him that if you even try to do anything good and to help Yusuf alayhi salam, we will do what we're going to do to him and we'll take care of you too. So either you stick with us, or you just don't try to help him. Don't be with us and give him some help. So of course no one now here is helping. All the brothers are torturing and giving him a hard time. As they're walking towards the forest, they come to a well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, فَلَمَّا ذَهَبُوا بِهِ وَأَجْمَعُوا أَن يَجْعَلُوهُ فِي غَيَابَةِ الْجُبِّ. When they took Yusuf alayhi salam and they decided to throw him into a deep well. Out of all the wells, they chose a well that was very deep, so there was no chance of him coming back out. At that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a message, a revelation to Yusuf alayhi salam. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِ لَتُنَبِّئَنَّهُمْ بِأَمْرِهِمْ هَذَا وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving comfort to Yusuf alayhi salam. Some Mufassirin mentions that this revelation, this message of Allah came to him before he was thrown into the well. Some Mufassirin say no, it was right after he was thrown into the well. But either time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this revelation, sent this message, لَتُنَبِّئَنَّهُمْ بِأَمْرِهِمْ هَذَا. A time will come when you will inform your brothers of what they're doing to you today. This was a comfort to Yusuf alayhi salam that don't worry, nothing will happen, you will be safe, you will live longer, you're not going to die here, we will protect you, and a time will come later where you will remind your brothers of what the dhulm have done to you. وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. And they will not even remember. They won't even know what they have done. It will be so long after that they won't remember what they've done. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave comfort to Yusuf alayhi salam. Imam Qurtubi rahimahullah, one of the great mufassirin, he mentions that it could be possible that this revelation, it could have been before he was thrown, so that way when he was about to be thrown, he was not scared of being thrown and he was ready to jump into the well too, and he did not hesitate, that Allah is already promising him that we'll take care of you. Or after he was thrown, he was worried that, what am I going to do here? Allah is sending that message at that time that don't worry, you will come back out alive and we'll take care of you. So either it's possible that this wahi, this message was given before he was thrown or right after he was thrown. Now Qurtubi also mentions that these brothers, they tied up his hands before throwing him. So that way, there's even lesser chances for him to get out. It's already a deep well, but now his hands are also tied up. And Qurtubi further mentions that another thing the brothers did was they put him in a bucket, a huge bucket. In those days they would put buckets for pulling out the water from the well. So they had a big bucket. By every well there used to be buckets sitting there on nearby the well. So they put Yusuf alayhi salam on that bucket, and they lowered him down halfway, and then they cut the ropes so he would fall hard on the ground, on the water. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course, wanted to protect Yusuf alayhi salam and save him and of course, let him live for a longer period of time. So it happened such that when they threw him down, there was a stone in that well, towards the side of the well, that Yusuf alayhi salam landed right on that rock, and he did not fall deep in the well. He fell right on that stone, on the rock, and he did not even get into the water. He was on that rock, deep in the well, but on the rock, and he was sitting there calmly. Some Mufassirin even mentioned that Jibreel alayhi salam was commanded to bring a rock, something like a rock, and place Yusuf alayhi salam on that rock and keep him safe. So either way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing His power, and He protected Yusuf alayhi salam in that situation. Mufassirin mentioned that Yusuf alayhi salam stayed in that well for 3 days. The eldest brother, Yehuda, as we learned previously too, that he did have some kindness, and he showed a little bit mercy to Yusuf alayhi salam. He was not as harsh as the other brothers. So after throwing him into the well, he felt bad, and he would come daily. Every day he is coming to give Yusuf alayhi salam some food in that well. So he is bringing him food every day. Finally, when these brothers, they threw Yusuf alayhi salam in the well, now they need to return back home, and they need to present an excuse, a strong excuse, to their father Yaqub alayhi salam of what happened to Yusuf. Why didn't he make it back home? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَجَاءُوا أَبَاهُمْ عِشَاءً يَبْكُونَ. They returned to their father in the evening crying. Fake crying. You know, they call this crocodile tears, I think. Fake crying. And Mufassirin mentioned they were crying loud. Not just tears, they were crying loud. So from far away, Yaqub alayhi salam heard they cry, so he came out his home and running towards them, that what happened? They're not even home yet. Yaqub alayhi salam ran towards them. That what happened? Why are you crying? And of course then he looked around and he said, where did Yusuf go? So Yaqub alayhi salam noticed first before they even asked, that where is Yusuf? I don't see him. So now the excuse that they had made up, they said, قالوا يا أبانا إنا ذهبنا نستبق وتركنا يوسف عند متاعنا فأكله الذئب وما أنت بمؤمن لنا ولو كنا صادقين. They said, oh our father, we went racing and we left Yusuf alayhi salam with our belongings. While we were busy with the race and Yusuf alayhi salam was sitting on the side, أكله الذئب, a wolf came and attacked him and killed him. And then they also said, وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُؤْمِنٍ لَنَا وَلَوْ كُنَّا صَادِقِينَ. But we know that you will not believe us, even though we are saying the truth. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning that these brothers said these words, that we know you won't believe us, even though we are saying the truth. And this is what, the professional liars will do. They will tell you that I'm saying the truth. If it's a truth, he doesn't have to keep on telling you that I'm telling you the truth. وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُؤْمِنٍ لَنَا وَلَوْ كُنَّا صَادِقِينَ. We are telling you the truth, but you won't believe us. So Yaqub alayhi salam understood that this is the first sign, right, that they're lying, because they have to convince me that they're speaking the truth. Another reason that cleared, or it was visible, or it was clear that they're lying, was they presented a cloth or a shirt of Yusuf alayhi salam, and they had placed blood on this shirt to convince Yaqub alayhi salam that look, a wolf had attacked and this is a blood on his shirt. وَجَاءُوا عَلَىٰ قَمِيصِهِ بِدَمٍ كَذِبٍ. And they brought Yusuf alayhi salam's shirt with false blood. Yaqub alayhi salam looking at this shirt, and he already realized that they're already lying. Now looking at this shirt, he was convinced that they're lying. Why? Because the shirt was in perfect condition. It was not, some of us even mentioned that Yaqub alayhi salam said to these brothers that wolf who attacked must have been a very smart wolf who calmly took his sleeves off and removed his shirt without damaging the shirt at all. It must be a very smart wolf. So looking at the shirt, that it was in perfect condition, no rips, no holes, no signs of an attack, just blood, he realized. So Yaqub alayhi salam then said, بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا. No, your souls must have tempted you to do this evil, to do some evil. There's something else that you have done, some evil that you have done, which you're not telling me about. فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. So I will practice patience, and I will practice good patience. وَاللَّهُ الْمُسْتَعَانُ عَلَى مَا تَصِفُونَ. And Allah's help is what I seek against all of you. You know, the Mufassirin and the scholars mentioned that every prophet had something in his stories that was like the highlight of his life. For example, let me give you an example. When we hear the stories of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, at many different occasions, we hear the story of staff. When he was crossing the sea, he hit the water with the staff, and Allah made a pathway. When Fir'aun called Musa alayhi salam to challenge the magicians, at that time Musa alayhi salam also used his staff. So in different occasions we find the staff of Musa alayhi salam at different places. In the stories of Yusuf alayhi salam, we find the shirt as a highlight in the stories of Yusuf alayhi salam. For example, over here the brothers used this shirt to prove to Yaqub alayhi salam that we are saying the truth. When later on, when Yusuf alayhi salam when he was in Egypt, and he was accused of doing wrong to the wife, of the ruler of Egypt, at that time, this shirt, we'll read the details afterwards, the shirt was the proof that Yusuf alayhi salam was free from that accusation, right? Also, if we learn later on, when the brothers came to Yusuf alayhi salam, when Yusuf alayhi salam became the leader of Egypt, he sent his shirt with these brothers to Yaqub alayhi salam for putting it on the eyes of Yaqub alayhi salam, because it's mentioned that Yaqub alayhi salam later on became blind out of severe crying, and he would cry day and night because he was missing Yusuf alayhi salam. He became blind, and Yusuf alayhi salam sent his shirt to his father, that tell my father to put the shirt on his eyes. So shirt is what we find in different occasions in the stories of Yusuf alayhi salam. So anyways, when these brothers presented the shirt to Yaqub alayhi salam of course did not believe, and he was convinced that this is a lie, and he knew that Yusuf alayhi salam, there's something else that happened to him. Qurtubi rahimahullah mentions that while Yusuf alayhi salam is now in the well, on the third day, there was a caravan, some travelers passing by, and this caravan was going from they were going from Sham, from Syria, towards Egypt. So they passed by this area, this forest or this jungle, and they passed by this well. They sent a person to go get some water. And this person's name was Malik bin Da'bar. Malik bin Da'bar. He's the one that went to that well to get some water for the caravan. When he put the bucket in to the well to get some water, and then he pulled it out, instead of water coming out in the bucket, Yusuf alayhi salam, a young boy, appeared in front of him. So he was shocked. So he screamed, Ya Bushra, Allah mentions, Ya Bushra, hada ghulam. That I have a good news. I found a boy. And why was it a good news that I found a boy? Was, of course, number one, that we found a boy, so we were able to help out. This boy was lost in the forest, and we found a boy and we can help him out. Or it could be that in those days there were slaves, so they found a boy so they can sell and they can make money off of him. And when they saw Yusuf alayhi salam, they were really happy also because this was a very beautiful boy. Yusuf alayhi salam, as we know from the ahadith too, he was very much beautiful. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in one hadith he mentions too, that when he went to Mi'raj and he visited the different anbiya, he says that when I saw Yusuf alayhi salam, it was as if he was given half the beauty that's given to the entire world. So he was and so these people were extremely happy that we found a boy and that is very beautiful and we will make a lot of money off of him. So this person, Malik bin Da'bar, he found this boy. So he took him, and now he was afraid that if the rest of the caravan would know about it, they would all claim to have a share in this boy. So he kept this boy, Yusuf alayhi salam, a secret from them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that, وَجَاءَتْ سَيَّارَةٌ فَأَرْسَلُوا وَالِدَهُمْ فَأَدْلَى دَلْوَةً قَالَ يَا بُشْرَى هَذَا غُلَامٌ وَأَسَرُّوهُ بِضَاعَةً. So some travelers came, and they sent a person to let down his bucket into the well. So he said, after putting his bucket down into the well, he said, good news, here is a boy. And they took him, and then they took him secretly to be sold as a merchandise, as a slave. But Allah is all knowing of what they are going to do. As we learned previously, Yehuda, the eldest brother, would come daily to give food to Yusuf alayhi salam. On this third day when he came to give food to Yusuf alayhi salam in the well, he did not find Yusuf alayhi salam in that well. So he went back home and he told the other brothers that, I went to that well and Yusuf alayhi salam wasn't there today. So all the brothers, 10 brothers, they all went out and they started searching, where did Yusuf go? They knew he's not in the well, he's out the well. So they started searching and looking here and there. They found this caravan. So they had a fear that it might be someone in this caravan that has it. So they looked in that caravan and they found Yusuf alayhi salam with one person. So these brothers went to that person and said, you have our slave. So they said about Yusuf alayhi salam that this is our slave. He had run away and we were looking for him and you have him here. We need our slave back. So that person, of course, he did not want to give him back because he thought he could see how much he can sell this for. So he wanted to keep this. So he insisted that no, this is not your slave. This is mine. This is my slave, and whatever. So they said, we will take this matter to the court and we'll make a big deal. You need to give us back. So they knew that there's no way out. So this Malik bin Da'bar, who was keeping him secret, he said, what if I pay you money for it? Give me your slave, okay? If it is your slave, I'll pay you for it. Give it to me, sell it to me. Allah mentions this, وَشَرَوْهُ بِثَمَنٍ بَخْسٍ دَرَاهِمَ مَعْدُودًا. That these brothers later on sold Yusuf alayhi salam. Initially they threw him. Second thing that now they're doing is they're selling him بِثَمَنٍ بَخْسٍ دَرَاهِمَ مَعْدُودًا. For few pennies. This is what Allah is saying. Few pennies for a very minimum currency. وَكَانُوا فِيهِ مِنَ الزَّاهِدِينَ. And they were never interested in selling him either. So they had to sell him just so that they can make sure that these people take him away, take him along with them. Because they did not want Yusuf alayhi salam to come back home. Because if Yusuf alayhi salam comes back home, all of the excuses they mentioned, the father Yaqub alayhi salam already knew that this is not true, but now even their own mistake will be exposed. So they had to make sure that Yusuf alayhi salam does not come back home. No chance. So they told these brothers told that person that this is our slave. He has a habit of running away. So make sure that you keep him safe amongst you, keep him secure, tie him up if you have to, because he's going to run away. They already brainwashed those people. So these people, of course, now they made sure that he does not get away, and they took Yusuf alayhi salam to Egypt. When these people now got to Egypt, Ibn Kathir, who was a great mufassir also, he mentions that these brothers secretly were following this caravan, making sure that Yusuf alayhi salam makes it all the way to Egypt. So they already told him, but they were not satisfied that, Yusuf he's already out the well. So there is a chance he could come back home. So they made sure that they followed this caravan all the way till Egypt. And then when he was there, then these brothers, came back home. When the caravan reached Egypt, they announced there that we have a slave for sale. And in those days, what they used to do is they would have bidding. And so they announced that there's going to be a sale, an auction. So people started gathering and they started bidding for Yusuf alayhi salam. And Yusuf alayhi salam was sold to the minister of Egypt. He wasn't the king of Egypt. It was someone that was below the Egypt. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls him Azizu Misr. He was a high respectful person, a high ranking person from the Egypt government. So we can call him a minister or a governor, whatever we can call. So that person bought Yusuf alayhi salam for how much? Prophet mentioned that he paid gold equal to the weight of Yusuf alayhi salam. That's a lot of weight, a lot of gold. And not just that, he also paid musk according to the weight of Yusuf alayhi salam. And number 3, he also paid silk clothes according to the weight of Yusuf alayhi salam. 3 things. This is how expensive Yusuf alayhi salam was sold for. After he bought Yusuf alayhi salam, he brought him home. And first day when he brought him home, when he brought Yusuf alayhi salam home, he gave one advice to his wife. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that, وَقَالَ الَّذِي اشْتَرَاهُ مِن مِصْرَ لِامْرَأَتِهِ أَكْرِمِي مَثْوَاهُ عَسَىٰ أَن يَنْفَعَنَا أَوْ نَتَّخِذَهُ وَلَدًا وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلِنُعَلِّمَهُ مِن تَأْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيثِ وَاللَّهُ غَالِبٌ عَلَى أَمْرِهِ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. The person who bought him in Egypt, he said to his wife, what did he say to his wife? Take good care of him. Perhaps he may be useful to us, or we may adopt him as a son. I'm translating the verse. And then he also said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then says that this is how we gave a place to Yusuf alayhi salam in Egypt. Because right now he did not have a place, so we gave him a house, we gave him a place to stay in Egypt. So that we may teach him the interpretations of the dreams, and Allah's will always prevails. But most people do not know. Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he mentions that in this world, out of all the human beings, there were 3 that we can say were the most intelligent people out of all the people of the world. Number 1 was this person who bought Yusuf alayhi salam. Why he was so intelligent? That at this young age of Yusuf alayhi salam, when he's only 7, he could see the future of Yusuf alayhi salam, and this is why he paid that high price for Yusuf alayhi salam. He did not let him go for any price. He made sure that he would win this bid in this auction, and he would bring him. So he can see the future. He understood. He was so intelligent that he made sure that he brought Yusuf alayhi salam home, and not just that, he told his wife that make sure we take good care of him. And number 2, this is Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu saying the 3 most intelligent people of the world. 1 was this person. Number 2 was the daughter of Shu'aib alayhi salam, that she saw Musa alayhi salam taking out the water from the well, and she realized that this person is al-qawi al-mateen. He's a strong and a trustworthy person. As she said to her father, this is a long story, inshallah, we'll read afterwards, that she said to her father, Shu'aib alayhi salam, that we need to keep this person as our worker. We need to hire him because I saw him that he's a very strong and a trustworthy person. And she saw this by the walk of Musa alayhi salam. While Musa alayhi salam was walking, he was walking in the front so that his gaze will not fall on the daughter of Shu'aib alayhi salam. So through this, she realized that he is a trustworthy person. And number 3, the intelligent person of all the mankind, Abdullah Masud says, is Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Through this, that he appointed Umar radiallahu anhu as his Khalifa after him passing away. This was the most smartest decision that anyone ever made. So this is the side note here. Abdullah Masud radiallahu anhu was mentioning of the 3 most intelligent people that he thinks that are of the whole entire world. And now, as Yusuf alayhi salam is in Egypt, when he grew up, I think we will continue this later on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the next verse. After he got to a certain age, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with some other favors. We'll talk about that inshallah next week. You know, I was just thinking that as we're studying the stories of the prophets, sometimes there are some lessons that we can practically take back, and sometimes there isn't. So why not have something at the end, something practical that we can take back, besides the stories of the prophets? So inshallah, just one quick reminder as a practical thing that I think we should start from today. And inshallah, we'll continue this every week. At the end, I'll just mention one point or one thing that we can practically do and take back from this session. So today, the thing that came to my mind was that there's so much virtue for reciting Surah Al-Waqi'ah. It's a surah after Surah Rahman in the 27th juz, إِذَا وَقَعَتِ الْوَاقِعَةِ لَيْسَ لِوَقَعَتِهَا كَاذِبَةٌ. It's a short surah in the 27th juz. And the virtue for this surah is that anyone who recites it after Maghrib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses that person in his rizq, in his sustenance, in his wealth. So reciting it after Maghrib is a source of barakah, and it's a source of increase in our rizq and our wealth. This is why once Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, I believe it was him, when he was passing away, on his deathbed, someone said to him that, you're leaving the world, what have you left behind for your daughters? We don't see that you have any money, there's nothing, what are you leaving behind? He says, I'm leaving behind Surah Waqi'ah for my daughters, that they have a habit of reciting it after Maghrib, and Allah will take care of their sustenance. So inshallah, we can start with this, that every day after Maghrib, it doesn't have to be right after Maghrib, it can be any time after Maghrib. So after Maghrib or even after Isha, we recite Surah Waqi'ah. It will take us, in the beginning it might take us a little longer, but if we do it every day, it will be quicker. It will take us 3-4 minutes. But of course, there's blessings are so much that inshallah we'll notice the effect and the difference in our lives, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.